Welcome to Clay Time with Mr. Barnes, children. Oh, why are you laughing? That's a good title. I showed you the video this week about how to make clay paint. Now, after looking at the video, I have a couple thoughts and ideas. I think that most of you, if you did get clay, you have that at home. And if you got wheat or flour, you can make the wheat paste at home. You probably don't have the mica powder, which is one of the other things that they added to it, which you can buy online, but I think it's probably not necessary. So if you look what I've got in my bowl here, I've got clay that's, my clay, it wasn't like the wheat or the clay putty that they talked about, but I've got it pretty wet. And they just suggested sort of equal parts wheat paste and clay slurry. So I've got my wheat paste here, and I'm just gonna kind of eyeball this and fill this up. Now, if you just took the slip, the clay slip, and painted something with the clay slip, that would work kind of as paint all by itself. But what's gonna happen as the clay dries, it'll start to crack, just like it was when you found it out in nature. If you add the wheat paste is like a glue binder. And this wheat paste is the same kind of stuff that you would use when you're making paper mache. So if you wanted to make a paper sculpture with newspaper, this stuff would be like good glue to use for that too. So all I'm gonna do is put in enough wheat paste until I feel like I'm just eyeballing it. I've got about a 50-50 mix. And then I'm gonna mix that together. And then check my consistency. If it seems like it's too thick to be paint, then I'll add a little bit of water. But it's always easier to add water. It's harder to add more clay to make it thicker. So I'm gonna try this first. We're gonna see how that happens. We'll come back in just a second. You can see I've already got a much looser kind of paste, but that's not quite the consistency of paint yet. I think I'm going to add the rest of the wheat paste that I have here, which is not much. Mix that and then see where I am, and then I can add water to thin it out as needed. Okay, so one thing that I learned in mixing this, I thought I had enough water, but it gets thicker the longer it sits. So I kept having to add water, and I've got it strained now, and I'm going to put it into a container. And as long as the container is airtight, it should stay, this consistency for a while. But because it's water-based, you can always add more water if you need to. Okay. One final thought I have on this clay paint, if you do make it, because we're making clay slip and then putting wheat paste into it, it's not going to have a long shelf life. You can add salt to it, and that'll help stop any mold or bacterial growth in your paint. But this is not going to stay on your shelf for 3 months. Use it within probably about a week. You'll be safe. Much longer than that, it might start to get kind of funky. And if you get paint and it starts to get funky, just throw it away. Work in small batches. You saw how much I made. I way overdid it. I don't need that much, so I'm gonna end up probably tossing a lot of it. Anyway, good luck, kids. The actual painting will be next.